right, so today we read Exodus chapters 21 through 23, and there's a lot of situations and guidance on the way things should be handled. And I think I've heard a lot of talk about how the Bible essentially endorses slavery. And if you think about the time that they were living in, a lot of people were, without any cause or reason, just sold into slavery or became slaves because they ran out of money. And there was literally no way out for them. And I think God kind of meets them where they are and wants to set them apart and set them in the right direction. So he's telling them that after a certain amount of time, you have to let them go. And he also provides other ways that they can be set free. Like if they get hurt, then you can't keep them anymore. So, and that wasn't a thing then. So he provides a lot of ways to say that you have to let them go or you're going to face consequences. So if you think about it in that context, it's not endorsing it, it's setting them in the right direction to make them realize that what they're doing is wrong and giving justice to the people who are suffering. And it really kind of, he says that, stealing is wrong and provides all of these things that, people were doing, that he's saying, you should be put to death for this, and that I'm not going to take your side if you're going to behave this way. So God, we know that God is a God of justice and righteousness, and he, can't be associated and can't stand this, sins that people are doing, and sin separates us from God. So I think it's really cool to think about it that way and to read through it, because it helps you, understand the context of the situation and kind of apply it to, personally for me, to apply it to my life and understand it that way. But would love to hear your thoughts on that if you would like to comment. And then in chapter 21 and 22 are all of these situations and how to handle them. And then chapter 23 it continues a little bit, and then it gets into God's promises to them and the rules that they need to follow, like honoring the Sabbath and having a feast to God and presenting themselves to God regularly. And that's really cool, I think, because when you think about presenting yourself to God, it's just kind of like a regular reminder of things. We get caught up in the day-to-day and kind of forget our purpose and who we are sometimes. So presenting ourselves to God and knowing that we're going to be doing that regularly, I think helps us to keep perspective and not get so caught up in the mundane and the details and things like that. So I thought that was really cool. And then he talks about as they're going to this land, not to bow down to their gods or be caught up in their sinful behaviors, and kind of warns them about that. And then I know, further on it tells why and the things that they were doing, but he keeps warning them and foreshadowing everything so that they should hopefully understand and remember what he says. So looking forward to continuing our study, and like I said, would love to hear your thoughts if you'd like to comment. Have an amazing day.